So there is, interestingly, a brand new proposal that was recently just released in order to potentially, and it's kind of wild, I don't see a lot of people talking about this right now, so if you've landed on this video, welcome aboard, because you're now here to be able to hear this out. But the idea really is that there is a new proposal now intended to potentially send out $500 stimulus checks to very select people around our country. This is something that's nationwide, so it's going to apply to all 50 states, and it's going to potentially send out relief and, most importantly, money to select individuals that it might potentially help. So in today's video, what I really want to talk about is pretty much just all of the details related to this program, its background story, what's involved, who will potentially receive this. I think it's really important to start this video by saying that right now at this time, it's currently a proposal, which means it has not necessarily been approved. However, with that being said, I figured it's still maybe just important and insightful to just know what's going on inside of our country if you are someone that's maybe interested in hearing about potential money that might come over. So with that being said, let's just get this video started. But as always, if you guys enjoy videos like this, like, comment, subscribe, feel free to leave a comment about anything, hit the bell notification, and let's get started. So the story to what's happening right now is that there's a proposal, just like mentioned, to potentially send out $500 stimulus checks. Now, I do have a copy. It's not the copy of the actual bill, but it is a copy of the statement and the letter of wishes that the representatives who released this bill, that I'm going to link inside of either the description or inside of the comment section. So definitely check it out if you want to see the official kind of summary that they made, released directly from Congress and the people that proposed this bill. But the idea really is that the background story to what this bill is and how it really came to be is that back in 2019, they found through a lot of research and polls that over 80% of the households with a child between the ages of 18 to 24 had less than $20,000 in their savings account. That is really scary, especially when you consider the cost of things like college tuition, food, prices, and just survival related expenses that you have to go through today. So the significance of what this means is that it's just really expensive to raise kids, and why many with kids don't really have as much money per se compared to single individuals. Again, just speaking, I mean, it just logically makes sense, because kids are very expensive. And the worst and sadder part is that it's only becoming worse with every single year that passes by, with inflation skyrocketing year by year. Now, the background proposal, which I just provided as just mentioned in the description in the comments, it's about 43 pages, I believe, but I'm going to try to summarize the entire thing in today's 10-minute or so video, so you don't necessarily have to watch that or you don't have to necessarily read that if you don't want to, but it's just there if you are interested in checking it out for yourself. But the idea really behind all of this stuff is that as a result of everything that's going on, they introduced this new bill proposed by US Senators Bob Casey, Chuck Schumer, and Ron Wyden in order to provide several programs for families. This bill is called the 401 Kids Savings Act. So otherwise, it's kind of a playoff and spinoff of the 401k, but in other words, it's 401k for Kids Savings Act. And the idea what it's going to do is that it's going to send out $500 stimulus checks per every single child per every single year on top of the child tax credit payment, which is another separate program. So I think it's what's really important to note is that this is not the child tax credit. This is something that's going to just be another separate program on its own. So if you are a family that happens to have a child, you're going to potentially be able to receive more money from the child tax credit, and then you're going to receive even more money from this particular bill if this bill was to officially approve and go through. Now, in terms of how does this program particularly work is I like to think of this bill a little bit like a Roth IRA, in the sense that it's kind of like a savings account that you can contribute money to every single year. Obviously, a Roth IRA, you're contributing to your retirement account. In this case, instead of contributing to retirement, you're contributing for a child for their adulthood. So one helps with, people when they become old. The other one helps with people when they become adults, essentially. So it's like a junior milli Roth IRA. Obviously, there's differences, but I'm just using it as an analogy to show some of the similarities. In a Roth IRA, you're investing in stocks. In this case, this is a plain savings account, so it's a little bit different in that sense, but there are still a lot of crossover similarities, at least in terms of like the goal that both of these accounts are meant to achieve. So in terms of specific numbers, is that what this bill is going to do is that it gives people, or specifically families, the opportunity to contribute about $2,500 every single year per child until about 17 years old. For families making under $75,000 for singles, so at least there's still some benefit for singles, it just happens to you have to have a child of some kind, or $150,000 for married couples with a phase out after you hit those income limits above that. So in other words, if you make over $75,000 as a single individual, or if you make over $150,000 as a married couple, you can still potentially qualify for this. You just won't be able to contribute as much money per se. So you'll still qualify, but just not as much per se, unless you just are totally over the threshold and the limit. Now, it is also important to notice that there's another program that you can potentially qualify for, which is going to be the Earned Income Tax program, otherwise known as the EITC. How this particular works is that this is also another separate program, and I say this is because the reason why I'm bringing this up is not necessarily because this is inside of the bill, but it's because these are two separate programs that are often confused with each other. If you qualify for this particular program in the 401 Kid Saving Act, which is what this video is about, you can still very much qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit, which provides another $250 per child per every single year, including a potential $1 savings matchup of up to $250 per year. So when you add up the total from all of these particular programs combined together, you're going to potentially be able to receive about $500 from this program, because again, this is a $500 stimulus check program, $250 from the Earned Income Tax Credit, and another $250 because it's a $1 to $1 match. So in other words, you're going to potentially be able to receive about $1,000 every single year per child if this program was to successfully go through. All of this on top of the child tax credit. There is another video I already made talking about the child tax credit, which I'll probably link at the very end screen, talking about how you could potentially receive $2,000. And this one is actually something that's actually expected to approve. So although it's not even a proposal at this point, it's already been sitting inside of Congress and it's expected to go through any moment, potentially. We don't know the future, but that's the expectations and the prospect right now at this current time. Now, how does the distribution actually physically work, and what is the goal achieved by doing this program is really the fact that they're really hoping that when every single child from birth or from whatever their age that they're currently at until they reach up to 18 years old, it's expected that through this particular program, they're going to potentially now have about $50,000 to $60,000 saved up inside of their bank accounts, so they don't have to struggle like the statistics suggested that I mentioned earlier, how in 2008-19, most Americans, college age kids, don't even have $20,000 saved. But under this new program, they're hoping to change that. And that's really the most important thing behind it. Now, one of the biggest differences between this and a Roth IRA, we're bringing up the Roth IRA analogy again, is the fact that a Roth IRA grows exponentially because you are investing in stocks, because it's a brokerage account at the end of the day. This program, the 401 Kid Savings Act, is a savings account. So as a result, although you will be able to make more money, especially watch it grow as you contribute more and more money into it, at the end of the day, it is a savings account. So what this really means is that it's not something that's going to grow exponentially. It's going to grow a lot more linearly. You obviously make more money as the years go on, so you are going to be able to make a little bit more. But I would say the growth pattern in the curve is that in a Roth IRA, you're making money like this. In this situation, you're making money more like that. So at least there's still some money to provide, and there's some help. And there's also a lot of other programs, like again, the matching program. There's other programs like the child tax credit you can get on, the earned income tax credit, all of this stuff to hopefully help people raise up their kids, especially during inflationary times when things have become really, really expensive inside of our country. But of course, all of this stuff, we just have to see what actually ultimately ends up happening and unfolding inside of this bill. Will it approve? How far will it get? Will it be changed? Because if maybe something they end up deciding to adjust inside this program, we'll just have to see in one of the future episodes of The Kevin Show. So with that being said, if you guys made it to the end, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay well. Remember to smash the like button if you guys hopefully found this insightful. I know it's not great news for everybody, because some people, I know we want more help for single individuals, but at least if you hopefully found it insightful in some way, shape, or form, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, leave a comment, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.